The movie begins on a strange planet called Barsoom, which is home to three main kingdoms: Helium, Zodanga, and the Tharks. Helium and Zodanga have been at war for centuries, with no signs of peace. In the opening scene, the armies of Helium, clad in blue capes, battle the Zodangan forces, wearing red. During this battle, the Zodangan general, Sabden, is visited by three mysterious figures who identify themselves as Therns, who were messengers of the gods. The leader of the Therns, Matai Shang, gives Sabden a powerful blue weapon, claiming that he has been chosen by the goddess to wield it. The Therns possess a mysterious energy source called the Ninth Ray, which makes them stronger than any other beings on Barsoom. For the time being, they've chosen to align with Zodanga, and this gives them an advantage in the war. The story then shifts to Earth in 1881, where Edgar, a young man, is summoned to New York City by his wealthy uncle, John Carter. When Edgar arrives, he is met by John's butler, who takes him to the family estate. There, Edgar learns from John's lawyer that his uncle has died unexpectedly. John has left his vast fortune to Edgar, but there's a strange detail: the door to John's mausoleum can only be opened from the inside. As the lawyer departs, he hands Edgar John's personal diary, which is meant for his eyes alone. As Edgar begins reading, he is taken into the extraordinary tale of his uncle's adventures. John's story starts in Arizona after the American Civil War, where he is a former Confederate Army captain searching for gold in remote caves. One day in a bar, John is approached by Powell, a Union colonel, who wants him to join the U.S. cavalry to help fight the Apache. John, however, is tired of war and refuses. After several failed escape attempts, John finally manages to flee after stealing Powell's horse. As he rides away, he encounters a band of Apache warriors. Soon, a fight breaks out, and during the chaos, John and the injured Powell take cover in a cave. Inside, John discovers that the cave is filled with gold, but before he can explore further, a mysterious man appears behind him. This man is a Thern, and after a brief struggle, John shoots him. But as the Thern dies, he mutters the word Barsoom while holding a strange medallion. Hearing this, John immediately grabs the medallion and impulsively repeats the words. Suddenly, he is engulfed in a bright blue light. When John regains consciousness, he finds himself in a vast, unfamiliar desert. Struggling to walk, he realizes that the planet's gravity allows him to leap incredible distances. As he explores this new environment, he stumbles upon a group of large, green-skinned creatures with 6 limbs, known as Tharks. Soon, their leader, Tars Tarkas, captures John and takes him to their city. Still very much confused and disoriented, he tries to introduce himself as John Carter from Virginia, but the Tharks mistakenly believe his name is Virginia. Meanwhile, somewhere else on Barsoom, the Princess of Helium, Dejah Thoris, is working on a weapon she hopes will help her people win the war against Zodanga. She has discovered the secret of the Ninth Ray, which is the source of the Thern's power, and she believes her invention could turn the tide of the war. However, when she demonstrates the weapon to her father, the King of Helium, one man sabotages the device, causing it to malfunction and explode. In the end, Dejah's father tells her that Sabden, the Zodangan king, has proposed a political marriage to Dejah and has offered to end the war in exchange for her hand. However, if Dejah agrees, Sabden would gain control of Helium and ultimately all of Barsoom. Although Dejah is deeply opposed to this union, her father is desperate for peace. Meanwhile, back in the Thark city, John is still held captive, and that night, a Thark woman named Sola gives him a mysterious liquid that enables him to understand their language. The next day, John is forced to demonstrate his incredible jumping ability for the amusement of the Tharks. But before he can act, a battle erupts in the skies above. The armies of Helium and Zodanga are once again fighting, and the Tharks watch the conflict as a form of entertainment, and they even bet on who will win. During the battle, Dejah falls from one of the airships. When he sees this, John immediately realizes that she's human, and he leaps into action, using his newfound abilities to save her. Impressed by his skills, the Tharks cheer for John, and he fights alongside Dejah against the Zodangan forces. Their efforts help turn the tide of the battle in favor of Helium, but Dejah's ship crashes, leaving her stranded with John among the Tharks. Tars Tarkas, impressed by John's courage and abilities, appoints him as his second-in-command, a position John reluctantly accepts. As John and Dejah spend more time together, she reveals to him that they are on Mars, known as Barsoom to its inhabitants. John is stunned and in disbelief as he explains to her that he is from Earth. Even Dejah expresses her shock and tries to grasp the truth of the situation. In the end, she supposes that John's superior strength and ability to leap great distances are due to his denser bone structure and the planet's lower gravity. In an attempt to find a way to return John to Earth, Dejah takes him to a forbidden temple of the Tharks. She believes that the temple may hold knowledge about how people travel between worlds, just as John did when he arrived on Barsoom. But Sola, the kind Thark woman following them, tries to plead with them to stop before they are discovered. Inside the temple, Dejah shows John a statue of the goddess Isis and reads ancient inscriptions on the wall, hoping they will provide answers. However, their presence in the temple is soon discovered, and all three are arrested by the Tharks. They are sentenced to death for defiling the sacred temple. Just before they are taken away, Tarkas takes John and the others to a secluded cell to interrogate them. Once alone, he reveals a secret. Sola is actually his daughter, and he does not want to see her or John executed by the Tharks. He hands John the medallion and urges him to journey to the river Isis to uncover the mystery of the goddess Isis and find a way back to Earth. Meanwhile, the other Tharks soon discover that their leader has betrayed them, and Tal-Hages, who has always opposed Tarkas, immediately seizes control of the kingdom and becomes their new leader. In the meantime, John, Dejah, and Sola continue their journey, with Dejah leading them toward what she claims is the river Isis. However, Sola soon tells John that Dejah is actually guiding them toward Helium, not the river. When John confronts Dejah about this, she admits that she wanted to take him to Helium to help her in the war. She explains that she had no choice as she's trying to avoid marrying Sabdan. John, feeling deceived, insists on going to the river Isis with Sola, but Dejah pleads to accompany them. After hesitating for a while, John finally agrees. The trio sails down the river Isis and arrives at a large, inverted pyramid. Upon reaching the top, they encounter a strange blue energy, which Dejah recognizes as the power of the ninth ray. She realizes that this mysterious power is the same as the one she used to create her weapon. Together, they deduce that John's presence on Barsoom was caused by the ninth ray, which somehow transmitted a copy of his physical form from Earth to Mars. Suddenly, an army of Warhuns, led by Matai Shang, the leader of the Therns, approaches them. After realizing that there won't be an easy way out for them, John orders Sola to take Dejah and escape while he fights the Warhuns alone. However, at a point, the attack becomes overwhelming, but the King of Helium sends reinforcements, and together, they defeat the Warhuns. John is injured and barely alive when he is rescued by the Helium soldiers. Upon reaching Helium, Dejah is reunited with her father, and she is shocked to find Sabdan there. She soon discovers that he had come without weapons or soldiers, as Sabdan officially asks for Dejah's hand in marriage to bring an end to the war. Reluctantly, Dejah agrees, as she sees no other way to stop the conflict between Helium and Zodanga. In the meantime, Carter is taken to Zodanga, where he is held captive in a guarded room. Upon waking, he wondered how he had arrived there and worried about Dejah Thoris, hoping she was safe and would reconsider her marriage to Sabdar. Soon Kantos Kan, one of the captains from Helium, enters the room and informs Carter that they were in Zodanga and that he had come to rescue him. He asked Carter to pretend to be his hostage so they could escape together. Although Carter is still disoriented, Kantos Kan proceeds to grab his arm and pretend he's been taken hostage by Carter. Together, they left the room, and Kantos asked Carter if he could jump onto a nearby tower as guards pursued them. Carter made the leap to the tower, where they found Dejah in a room, dressed in a beautiful gown. She thanked Kantos for bringing Carter to her and dismissed the servants. When they were alone, Dejah begged Carter to stay with her and fight for her people, but he refused. That is when she noticed the ring on his finger and immediately understood that he had lost another woman he had loved. Eventually, Dejah gave Carter the medallion and taught him the words that would send him back to Earth, as she wished him happiness. Though hesitant to leave, Carter recited the words as Zodangan soldiers knocked on the door. He disappeared just before they entered, leaving Dejah heartbroken, but she manages to hide her emotions. After Sabdar and his men left with Dejah, an old woman who had been guarding the room returned. She sensed that Carter was still present. In fact, he was hiding in the ceiling. The old woman used a blue beam to catch him and revealed herself as Matai Shang, leader of the Therns. He tells Carter that the Therns were behind Mars's destruction and disguised himself as a Zodangan officer to lead Carter outside. Before turning back into the old woman, Matai Shang casually mentioned that Dejah and anyone who knew about the ninth ray would die after the wedding. The Therns sided with Sabdan because he was easily manipulated, but their true goal is to rule all of Barsoom through him. Just as Matai Shang is about to kill John, the Thark's dog guarding John comes to his rescue, biting off Matai Shang's wrist device and freeing John. He quickly escapes and hijacks a flying craft to stop Dejah's wedding to Sabin. However, John is unfamiliar with the controls and crash lands near the Thark's territory. He is once again captured by the Tharks and held alongside Tarkas, who had been severely beaten. Now that Tal-Hages is the leader of the Tharks, he forces John and Tarkas to fight massive white apes as a spectacle for the Tharks. Using his enhanced strength, John manages to defeat the apes in front of the Tharks. He then challenges Tal-Hages to a duel and swiftly defeats him, thereby becoming the new leader of the Tharks. He then convinces the Tharks to join him in the battle against Zodanga. Together, John and the Tharks head to Helium to stop the wedding of Sabdan and Dejah. They arrive just in time to interrupt the ceremony. When Sabdan realizes that his plan is at risk, he attempts to kill Dejah, but John intervenes and saves her. A fierce battle breaks out between the soldiers of Helium and Zodanga. With the Tharks fighting on Helium's side, Zodanga is quickly defeated. Despite their victory, Matai Shang escapes, taking John's medallion with him. In the end, after the battle, John decides that he will remain on Mars and marry Dejah, choosing not to return to Earth. After proposing to her, John marries Dejah, and the people of Helium celebrate their union. John is now the Prince of Helium. The next day, when John and Dejah are on a balcony, enjoying their new life together, Dejah steps inside, leaving John alone. After taking a while to make a decision, John concludes that he will toss the medallion into the river below. Suddenly, Matai Shang reappears and uses his medallion to send John back to Earth before he can react. When John wakes up, he is back in the cave on Earth. Time has passed, as he now has a long beard, and after seeing Colonel Powell's remains, he realizes that years have gone by since he was teleported to Mars. John immediately tries to search for the medallion but finds nothing. Now wealthy from the gold he had found in the cave, John starts a mining corporation and spends the next 10 years searching for another medallion. Then one day, he eventually finds one. Although John is filled with joy, he also knows that the Therns have been watching him all this time. He realizes that his body on Earth must be protected, as any harm to it could result in his death on both Earth and Mars. This is why he built a mausoleum that can only be opened from the inside. His apparent death had been orchestrated so he could return to Mars undisturbed. In his diary, John writes that he wants Edgar to protect his mausoleum from the Therns, offering him the wealth he has accumulated in return. After reading the diary, Edgar is left in shock. He rushes to the mausoleum and tries to open it using a secret password, which turns out to be Ned, the name John used to call Edgar when he was a child. As the doors open, Edgar is confronted by a Thern, who has been watching him, waiting for an opportunity to kill John. But before the Thern can strike, someone shoots him from behind. And to Edgar's astonishment, it is John, who is alive and well. It turns out that John never found another medallion. He had faked his death to lure a Thern out and steal theirs. So, John takes the Thern's medallion and prepares to return to Mars. Before leaving, he entrusts Edgar with the task of protecting his mausoleum, knowing that the Therns may continue to pose a threat. He then enters the mausoleum and lies down as he recites the chant that activates the medallion to return to Mars and reunite with Dejah. And that is the recap of the movie, John Carter. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more movie recaps like this on this channel, leave a comment for us and also drop a like on the video. Thanks for watching.